Happy Valentine's Day to everybody who's sitting here and to more than 1 million Me fans who are watching us live right now. This is probably one of the biggest ever launch event live streams. And I'm so glad that I don't have a single Valentine, but I have so many millions of Valentines. And also so happy that you guys have decided to spend this special day with us. So thank you so much, guys. My name is Manu Jain. I'm a global VP with the firm and I head Xiaomi's business in India. Let me start by sharing a really great news, which is Xiaomi has become the 4th largest smartphone brand in the world. And that too in a market which is declining year on year. Thank you. If you look at all the brands, we've seen a decline over from 2016 to 2017. Xiaomi is the only brand which has been growing like 97% year on year. And of course, if you look at our India business, we continue to remain the number one brand. We became number one in Q3, and again in Q4, we were the number one brand in India. If you look at the latest IDC report, which came out yesterday, we are now the undisputed number one brand with about 27% market share. Thank you. And if you look at just the online segment, we're the dominating number one brand. We have 57% market share, which is approximately 6x. The second biggest brand in the online segment. Now, we were always selling products online, and about a year ago, we decided to also build our offline business. I'm happy to share that in such a short period of 9 months, Xiaomi has become the second biggest brand in offline with 11% share. Now, this has been possible because of the amazing products that we have. If you look at the top 10 selling smartphones in Q4 2017, 6 out of 10 were Xiaomi phones. And a big shout out to all our Mi fans, because this wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for supporting our business for the last 3 years. Now, I also want to take a moment and talk about the Xiaomi philosophy. We're not about sales. We really want to become friends with our Mi fans. So how do we become friends? We of course launch really innovative products with very high specs. But more than just specs, we also focus on quality. And then what we do, what I call is honest pricing. We always try and price our products at cost. And we try and make them available to you guys at lowest possible. But Android Authority said this was the well-rounded package. Or I would say this was India's all-rounder phone. Some people also said this is the phone to beat in 2017. And I personally believe there was no phone which even came close to beating the Redmi Note 4. So today here we are. We're about to launch a phone which we think will beat the Redmi Note 4. And this phone is Redmi Note 5. Redmi 5. We think this is an all-rounded upgrade to Redmi Note 4. And to talk more about this, I'll call on stage Sir Jaimani. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Manu. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? My name is Jay Mani, and I'm the product manager for Xiaomi here in India. And as Manu mentioned, today we're here to talk about Redmi Note 5. Now, it's easy to think that a phone is just about the specs. But we believe that there's more to it than that. And our goal has always been to help you understand more about our products beyond just what you see in a table. And I personally believe that's the reason why we've been so successful here in India. So today, we have some really cool stuff to show you, and I hope you enjoy it. So Redmi Note 5, it's an all-around upgrade. We kept the same great things that made Redmi Note 4 the best-selling phone in India, but we upgraded everything else. And the three main areas I want to talk about are design, camera, and quality. So first up, let's start with design. We have a really awesome video to show you, so let's run that right now. video is so awesome. If we had time, I would run that again, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let's keep going. So the biggest upgrade that we made when it comes to Redmi Note 5's design is the display. Redmi Note 5 has a 5.99-inch full HD plus display. And this is the first phone that we've released with these larger aspect ratios since Mi. So if you look at Redmi Note 4, it's pretty much what all phones have looked like for the last few years, the 5.5-inch 16:9 display. But when we compare it to Redmi Note 5, we've reduced the borders on the top and bottom significantly, and we've used all that space to give you more display. It's actually 12.5% more display area in a similar form factor. So we've removed the stuff that you don't need and given you a bigger screen. And when you start using phones like this, any other phone just feels old. Even phones that were released this month, they just feel old. So what can you do with that extra space? Well, if you haven't used it before, it's really great, particularly for web pages where you have more content, you don't have to scroll as much. It's really good for gaming. You either get more space to give you an advantage, or you have bigger touch targets, so you can be more accurate. The Redmi Note 5 also has a similar premium metal body with a tapered back edge. Actually, it's difficult to see here on the slide, but if you compare the taper to Redmi Note 4, the slide here, the angle here is adjusted by a couple of degrees, so it feels smoother, it fits in closer with the edge. When you compare it in the demo zone, you see that it feels a lot better in the game. Another big change we made is that it's a lot thinner. Redmi Note 5 is 8.05 millimeters thick. It's almost half a millimeter thinner than the Redmi Note 4, and it's the thinnest Redmi Note we've ever made. And it still, most importantly, has the same great 4000 mAh battery. So we've made the phone thinner, but we've kept the battery the same. And I think the best part of the Redmi Note 5 design is that it feels modern, but it also is familiar. Here's a look from both the front and the back. Beautiful white and gold. We've also added a new and elegant rose gold, perfect for Valentine's Day today. And a color that some of you might be familiar with, a lot of people ask me about this. Lake blue. This was really popular when we released it with Redmi Note 4 towards the end of last year. So Redmi Note 5 comes in 4 colors: black, gold, rose gold, and lake blue. The design has smaller borders with more display. It's a thinner body with the same battery life, and it still feels great in the hand. So now let's talk about the camera. We've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys on the cameras for Redmi Note 3 and Redmi Note 4, and we worked hard to make changes this year. A lot of people said that the camera of Redmi Note 4 was good as long as the lighting was good, but it started to struggle in low light. So we wanted to change that this year, and we made a bunch of improvements. Upgraded the rear camera sensor to have a large 1.25 micron pixels. This helps a lot with low light photography, and it's similar to what we had in the main sensor of the Mi A1. It's one of the reasons why people love that camera so much. And actually, this is the only phone in the segment to have these kind of pixels. So your photos will look brighter and crisper, especially in low light. And compared to Redmi Note 4, it has about 25% more pixel area. And when compared to the 1 micron pixels on Redmi Note 3, it's about 56% more light. So the low light performance on Redmi Note 5 is significantly better than our previous generation Redmi Notes. So let's take a look at a couple of snaps. This photo here, there's 2 things to notice. If you look at the sharpness on all edges here, really, really crisp, but also the dynamic range. Different petals on this building have different lights. You have some parts that are in shadow, you have kind of a yellow light here, a red light here, and it all comes out well. This shows a lot of the power of our HDR algorithm. This photo is, again, taken in low light. All of the lights are off here. It's taken towards the evening, but you can still see a lot of the details in the shot, even though it's dark in there. It shows a lot about good white balance and exposure. This image shows our contrast and again auto white balance. You can see the white color of the mushrooms, but there's still bright colors everywhere else in the image. And then even the browns look good here. So photos, and especially low light photos, are a lot better on Redmi Note 5. And it's not just the rear camera. We've also added an LED selfie light on the front. So you have better low light photos, both on the front camera and on the back camera. So now let's talk about quality. I think usually when people talk about focusing on India, they're talking about things like localization, translating the I mean, these are things that we did in MIUI 3 years ago. But the customizations that we're talking about here, the things that we did specifically for India, for Redmi Note 5, they all have to do with improving the quality. This is something that Manu talked about, and it's something that we've been focused on for the last year. Our components are sourced from first-class suppliers, and for Redmi Note 5, we raised our standards even more. Redmi Note 4 had a single pyrolytic graphite sheet, and this decreases the surface temperature on your phone by about 1 degree. In Redmi Note 5, we have dual pyrolytic graphite sheets, mouthful, dual pyrolytic graphite sheets, and this further decreases the temperature by another 1 degree to give you 2 degrees total cooler surface temperature. This is something that we first started talking about with Mi A1, and this is something that we're continuing here with Redmi Note 5. Redmi Note 5 also comes with the charger design for India. It's a brand new charger that we had to make, and it helps handle power spikes, which are especially common here in India during the summers. Now, the operating voltage of this adapter is the same, but what it's designed to do is handle voltage spikes up to 380 volts. And these are the types of spikes that can destroy your charger, and in the worst case, can destroy your phone. So we've made a specific charger here in India to improve the quality on Redmi Note 5. Redmi Note 5 also has Gorilla Glass, which is something that I think has been asked for quite a few times. And in terms of testing and QA standards, we're actually using many of the same tests that we use on our flagship Mi series. We have a cool video to show you some of these tests. Let's take a look at that now.
At Xiaomi, we strive to serve the best to our Mi fans. Our Redmi series is built with them in mind. Quality products at an honest pricing. Every Redmi device is subjected to more than 4,000 software and hardware tests during the research and development stage. Any failed test leads to a complete redesign of the product. We run with the belief that the more tests we do, there will be fewer problems in the future. We run with the belief that the stricter our tests are, there would be fewer issues faced in the future. At Xiaomi, we believe that quality control is a collaborative effort from the entire team. Quality first has always been the core of Xiaomi and will always continue this way for a long time. Innovation decides how high we soar, while quality defines how far we go.
By the way, please don't try any of that at home. We did that so that you don't have to. If you want, I can send you the video, but don't do that to your phone, please. So here are some of the tests that we are talking about. Again, these are many of the same durability tests that we run on our Mi phones. I doubt that many of you would use your fingerprint sensor over 600,000 times. So that's Redmi Note 5. We've upgraded 3 key areas: design, camera, and quality. And people really loved Redmi Note 4 for its great performance and battery life. And so Redmi Note 5 continues that legacy. It has Snapdragon 625. Oh, a cheers. Thank you. I agree. We agree. And last year we spent a lot of time talking about why. We talked about 14 nanometer FinFET, and I don't think anybody before this had talked about that. And I think many of you were skeptical at the time. Now we got cheers. Thank you. And it turns out that we were right. It turns out that millions of people love the performance on Redmi Note 4. And so we use the same processor because it still gives great power efficiency and great thermal performance. And of course, we've also kept the 4,000 mAh battery which is something that we pioneered here first with Redmi Note 3. Once you start using one of these phones, it just spoils you. It's really difficult to switch to anything else. So that's Redmi Note 5. It's India's all-rounder. All right, now let's talk about price, which I think might still be a surprise. So when we do the comparison, you can see that we took the stuff that made Redmi Note 4 such an easy phone to recommend and really made it the best-selling phone in India. Snapdragon 625, 4,000 mAh battery, and we upgraded everything else. You have a full-screen display, 5.99 inches, in a similar size body. You have better low-light performance with the bigger pixel rear sensor and an LED selfie light. So last year, we sold the 332 version for $10,999 with Redmi Note 4. This year, we're starting with a 3 GB version at an amazing price of $9,999. You cannot find a phone like this at that price. So the 4 GB version, which was the most popular version last year, and it is still the best-selling phone at this price. So with Redmi Note 5, we wanted to do even better. We've taken the 4 GB version and made it $11,999. So again, let's take a look at the comparisons here. You have the same great phone with a bigger display, better camera, and a better price. It's awesome. We've also made an ultra slim case. It looks great, and most importantly, it actually protects your phone really well. So pretty much everybody we talk to has a case, and when we look at the reviews of some of the popular ones, they're not that great. And most of these cases are around $200 to $300. So with Redmi Note 5, we've included this case in the box. And because it's from Xiaomi, because it's our case, you know that it's high quality and the fit is really, really good. You know, I've heard from a lot of people who order our phones and then buy the case separately and have to wait a few days before the case comes, and they're protecting their phone religiously. They don't remove the plastic. I saw somebody who was carrying their Redmi Note 4 around in the box, which I thought was pretty ridiculous. So now we have the case included in all devices for free. So that's it, Redmi Note 5. It's India's all-rounder. Big upgrades to design, especially with the full-screen display. Low-light camera improvements, both to the front and back. And importantly, a lot of quality improvements, specifically here for India. And we still have the best-in-class battery life and performance. It also comes with the Ultra SIM case for free. So Redmi Note 5, it's an all-around upgrade to what is still today one of India's best-selling phones. And this photo is from a trip that we made a couple weeks ago visiting Mi fans around the country. We really believe in Redmi Note 5, but many of you have asked us for more. And so, for that, we have Redmi Note 5 Pro. This is the global debut of Redmi Note 5 Pro. This is the first time you'll see this anywhere in the world. And again, I want to emphasize that we don't just say we focus on India because it sounds good. We are the only company that is consistently launching new products here in India first. And so Redmi Note 5 Pro, it is also the first device in the world to come with Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 mobile platform. Yeah, the first device in the world. And again, this is the third year in a row that we're doing that. First, we did the Snapdragon 650 with Redmi Note 3. Last year, Snapdragon 625 with Redmi Note 4. And this year, Snapdragon 636 with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So it's not just a statement. We actually launch things, new technologies here in India first. And we're really, really proud of that. So, people love the performance of Redmi Note 3. And that was because it had those flagship grade A72 cores in them. So Snapdragon 636 comes with the latest Cryo microarchitecture. And for those of you who don't know Cryo, they are Qualcomm's semi-custom CPU based on ARM Cortex technologies. Now these Cryo cores are previously exclusive to 800 series phones. Things like the Snapdragon 820 and the Snapdragon 835. And Snapdragon 636 comes with Cryo 260. These are based on the flagship grade ARM A73 core. And here's some of the benefits that you can see here. It has up to 50% better performance and is almost 40% more power efficient. And Cryo 260 isn't just about peak performance, it's also a huge improvement to sustained performance. So you have flagship performance for a long period of time because it's optimized for efficiency. And Snapdragon 636 comes with 4 performance Cryo cores, and this is the only phone anywhere near this price which has flagship ARM cores. There are also 4 Cryo cores for the power cores, which are based on 853. So you might have seen this before, but what does this all mean in practice? What do we actually get? Well, of course, we ran Antutu on it, and I think the results are pretty cool. So we listened. With Redmi Note 5 Pro, we are again bringing flagship grade performance to the Redmi Note series. And that's all thanks to Snapdragon 636. This completely destroys the performance of any phone in this segment. If you want performance or power, Redmi Note 5 Pro is the only phone to get. And if we compare it to the Snapdragon 625 in Redmi Note 4, it has over 59% better performance on Antutu. Now, 8x853s are great, but for flagship grade performance, you need the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So last year, we talked about 14nm FinFET, and this is the reason why we avoided some other CPUs that you guys had asked us for. We spent a lot of time talking about the benefits. And so we worked with Qualcomm, and we waited for Snapdragon 636 because it has the best of both worlds. The raw performance of Cryo, along with the efficiency, thermal performance, and battery life from 14nm FinFET. So Redmi Note 5 Pro with Snapdragon 636, it has flagship DNA, and it still has 14nm FinFET for thermal performance and battery life. We worked closely with our friends at Qualcomm to make this product. Larry Paulson, the president of Qualcomm India, is here today. Thank you so much for your hard work and support. And Larry was kind enough to share this quote with us on our collaboration. We're proud to collaborate with Xiaomi for the global debut of the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 mobile platform. Sporting our latest Qualcomm Cryo semi-custom CPU, Snapdragon 636 makes Redmi Note 5 Pro a true performance beast. Thank you very much, Larry. We totally agree, by the way. So it's the best of both worlds. And we think it's exactly what you've been asking us for. Best-in-class performance in the Redmi Note series. But we're not done with performance yet. Redmi Note 5 Pro also has up to 6 GB of RAM. This is the first time ever in a Redmi series, 6 gigabytes of RAM. But it's not just about the size. We've also used the fastest type of RAM available in the market, LPDDR4X RAM. This is the same kind of RAM that you'll find in any flagship phone today. It's up to 35% more power efficient compared to LPDDR3 RAM, which is what you find in most phones in this price range. And it's 20% more power efficient than LPDDR4. Redmi Note 5 Pro has amazing performance. Snapdragon 636 and up to 6 gigabytes of incredibly fast LPDDR4X RAM. It is the most powerful Redmi Note ever, and it is by far the most powerful phone you get anywhere near this price. Alright, now let's talk about design. Just like Redmi Note 5 Pro is beautiful. So we have another great product video to show you. So let's take a look at that.